Services, Blavazi and Book1.co.uk present the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 578. I'm Adam and blah, 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 blah. And here, yes, you will be surprised to hear, is Debbie Melrose.
It's smaller on the outside.
Oh, God, yeah. And Mary Lang.
Oh, hello, Rusty.
Yeah, I was thinking of using that one, but I decided not to bother with any quotes this week. And Burby Cartlett Get Cross Sloan. Oh, hang on, that's wrong. Sorry, I'll try that again. Kirby Bartlett Get Cross Sloan. There we go.
Fantastic idea for a movie, terrible idea for a proctologist. That one cracks me up every time.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Last show of the year, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we have Doctor Who to talk about. What did
Don't
you say?
you dare bar humbug.
We have stuff coming through on the live feed, which is Lillian Robbins saying hi, Terry Miles saying hello,
Hi.
everybody. Well, here it is, Mary, and that's a different song, isn't it? And then, ooh, look, we fell. Oh, do apologise. We fell over. I had to eat my dinner really quickly so as I could do the show on time. Terry Miles, check the vid feed, Adam. Yeah, I am. I can see myself. Hello. Lily Robin, I'm not criticising. Not criticising what? And then, y'all are funny. That sounds like that Britney Spears' sister, If I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. She talks a bit like that.
Which I fortunately missed every episode of, thank you.
Don't get to kiss. There we go. So this week we're going to be talking about the Giggle. Just talking about it, Kirby. You understand that bit? No synopsis. We're going to talk about it. Also, Debbie's going to say what she thought of the two previous specials, which she couldn't be bothered to show up for.
Yeah, where have
Debbie?
you been?
I've been ill and doing family stuff. Sorry.
Actually, you know, the quote I almost used was, "Where the hell have you been?"
Yeah.
I've been busy. This time of year gets a bit hectic for me.
It doesn't. Yes,
It's everybody's birthday.
Yeah, all right. Well, it was your birthday too, wasn't it? Oh, bless.
No, it's my birthday next week.
Yes, I'm saying, well, we won't be on for that, so I'm doing it now. Anyway, so what did you think of the first two specials? And I don't mean Terry Hall and one of the other members of the band that may or may not be.
Oh, well, I quite like the original specials, but, you know. Watched both of them with Tom and Isla, and I've watched them again since, obviously. And unfortunately, I am one of those fans that got absolutely caught up in the joy of having Dr. Donna back together again, and... I've seen so much discussion on the forums, the pros, cons, the people's likes, dislikes, and things like that. And I'm pretty damn sure I was here for the review of the first one. But
were you?
The Meep, yeah.
I can't remember that bit. Sorry.
I always love. I'm a sucker for a cuddly turning evil. I mean, Gremlins is one of my favourite movies.
Sorry. I thought you were talking about me for a minute there. Sorry.
Cuddly turning evil. Always a sucker for that. But I've a lot of love for the first one. I'm pretty damn sure I reviewed that one with you guys.
No, I can't remember. Can anybody remember Debbie talking about the first one?
When did we record that one?
A while back. About 4 weeks ago. About 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 or 4
3 or 4 weeks ago.
Because Mary was at Chicago TARDIS, weren't you, Mary?
Didn't we review Time of the Doctor? And
Time of the Doctor shows Debbie was on, therefore you did talk about it.
Yep. So I'll talk about... I have a lot of love for that one, and Miriam Margolyes as an evil person, as the Meep's voice was hilarious. And I talked quite long and hard about the music in that, and
yeah, right, we don't have to talk about it again. Talk about the one you weren't here for.
Okay, so I will talk about... What did we call that?
What? He's grumpy.
No, you're grumpy, Kirby.
What's the next one called?
The next one... we're not doing the Giggle. The next one was called... Blue Yonder. That was Blue Yonder.
The bit with the captain, when you reveal the equine captain, made me think of the Astongares from Sophie Aldred's book, so that was quite a nice tie-in.
What, in Blue Yonder?
I loved the special effects in this one, the actual physical special effects rather than CGI special effects, because obviously the behind-the-scenes thing happened afterwards, with the long It's become quite family line at the moment, which is quite creepy when your daughter comes in and says, "My arms are too long." I really loved the fact it was a two-handed with just the both of them against themselves. And out of the 3 specials we've had, I think this was the strongest one, because you don't need big bads and things like that except for themselves. And I like it when you're forced to fit. And it did have a very midnight feel about it, this one. And I love that one. So it's great to sort of hit back on different styles that Russell T Davies used throughout his tenure. Yes. In 3 episodes, because they have each 3, one after the other have very distinctive styles that he utilised throughout his tenure, and it's quite nice to sort of pick. And the music, fantastic. But my main bugbear with this one, I got from very, very quickly that the robot was going to probably press a button or open a door or something. I got that very quickly. But it just didn't, it felt like a bit of a pointless thing, having that long corridor. It just didn't feel like it was moving the story along the way they wanted it to. So even though I think this is my favourite one of the 3, 3 specials, I still felt it kind of lagged every now and then, especially when we just hit back to the robot just moving one step. And it seemed to just completely stop the action and reset it. And that was a thing that happened a lot in Chibnall's era. So, but other than that, I'm fangirling like an idiot these days.
Splendid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember if I mentioned this 2 weeks ago or not, but that one looked really good, but it had one major flaw.
Only one?
Well, no. I love that one, but that it had one major flaw in that it had no point. The TARDIS shouldn't have taken them there because they weren't needed. It's a Raiders of the Lost Ark situation where what happened would have happened without the Doctor.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, totally get it. And that's
in Raiders, Indy doesn't need to be in Raiders at all.
No, he doesn't at all. No, I hate that as being pointed out because they still would have opened it and still would have died. I get that. No, I do get that, but it's fun to have had someone actually witness it.
and I agree that Dr. Donna and that against the Doctor and Donna was fantastic. So
I think it was brilliant, and you could see, with all the visual effects that they were actually acting next to each other with the actual visual effects, not having to just go, "Oh, we're playing against green screen, let's imagine this." I thought that was brilliant because, like with the Meep wasn't CGI most of the time, and I prefer that. And Isla and I we were watching. What were we watching? Oh, something from my childhood. I can't remember. We've been watching loads of stuff. It's Christmas, loads of people around, and it's all animatronics, puppets, and small models, and with like barely any computer. Ghostbusters, barely any computer generation and things like that. It's all puppetry, and I was trying to explain to Isla about it, because you hear like in Lord of the Rings in one of the outtakes or The Hobbit, it's Ian McKellen bemoaning the fact he didn't sign up to act like this, where he's just sat on his own in front of green screen, and it was like, this is pre-acting against a green wall, and Isla just didn't quite comprehend it. So having all these props and things, it's like being on stage, and I was like, that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to sort of help her work that out was quite interesting.
It's only a model. But
she has really enjoyed these, and obviously we'll talk about the Giggle. And she was absolutely terrified in this one. I mean, proper terrified.
So anyway, let's move on to the Giggle then, shall we?
Let somebody else talk.
Okay, right. So I'm not going to say no synopsis, but I'm going to take. So my air freshener just shot off just at the moment. It just made me jump. So
what did you shot off?
It obviously was very, very, very exciting. Very exciting again for a brand new Doctor Who, and sit down on Saturday night and just sort of switch lights off and. See Tennant and Kate doing their thing. There was a bit, obviously, at the beginning of the episode when things started kicking off. It was quite sad to see that Wilf has grown his hair quite a lot.
Fake Wilf suddenly had long hair.
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
Yeah.
If you pause it, it's not him at all.
And I do like the bloke from the Smurfs films. He does nail Sinister really good. And obviously the opening scenes and the shop where the matey disappears, and then obviously the Doctor's in present day.
Some people didn't think the guy in the top hat and tails was the same guy. It was a bit odd.
I know, that was weird.
I was like, it's definitely him. And people were like, who is it? Who is it? It's like,
definitely him.
Same guy who's through it.
and we've been seeing that scene for a year.
And then people are like, no, that's not him, just because he favoured his German look, you know.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, so he's and obviously the fact that we come to present day, and after all the shenanigans we see with the Doctor and Donna and Unit and meeting Mel again, which was really quite exciting. I do love the way that Bonnie Langford's played Mel as the mature Mel, but it's still Mel, you know, because obviously when we last had Mel, she was young, squealy. And I don't remember her squealing at all during this episode.
Yeah, she didn't scream at all.
But she didn't. No, but I do like this version of Mel. She's obviously lived a bit.
I like how she hitched a lift with like a teaser almost. From
I get, and also very subtle acting, because she's still had the nuances that makes her Mel rather than Bonnie Langford.
Those of us who've been listening to her on Big Finish, this has been like no change at all. This is how she's been all the time.
Yeah. But it was lovely to see her there. I love the fact that Kate Stewart is now Kate Lethbridge Stewart as well. So they've finally gone whole, you know, they might as well do, because that's what she's there for. She's the Brigadier's representative in Unit. I love the new Unit uniforms. I love the feel of Unit, the sort of big thing. I know it's obviously not as secret as it's supposed to be anymore, but if I go back to the original Unit days, it's supposed to be secret, but they were women all over the place, battling aliens and whatnot.
The Doctor does say something about that.
Yeah. But, of course, they end up going into the toy maker's sort of weird mindscape house, I suppose you'd call it, with a lot of the creepy dolls and creepy corridors and stuff going on. And, of course, there's a duplicate Doctor in there as well, on a doll's head, isn't it? And the bloke from the shop that was kidnapped, just his head on a doll as well. Really, really sort of cleverly done and toy makerish. And obviously, I think that maybe people that are modern Doctor Who fans have never seen, as we have, you know, the Celestial Toy Maker and been able to appreciate Doctor Who's innovativity, going from maybe a Dalek episode to a shrunk down to a tiny thing episode to a completely off the wall fantasy thing like this. It's just great that they've been able to bring it back in a way that it's modern, but it's still the toy maker. It's still what the danger the toy maker can be, and it was fantastic to pit Tennant's Doctor up against this toy maker. I hope it's not the end of this toy maker, to be fair, because I really, really did enjoy it. I think it's basically just a jump link to the new Master, to be fair, but it was fab. And there's been people moaning about the Spice Girls dance scene. That was just absolutely brilliant. And they've done it in a lot of...
nothing wrong with that.
No, but some people have been moaning about it, Kobe. But they've done that in a lot of sort of sci-fi type fantastical sort of things now,
not
like
particularly the Spice Girls, but
Umbrella Academy and things like that. So I've done it in other things, and there's been a musical episodes of various different things. Anyway, I'm not saying I like them, but Star Trek. I think Star Trek Strange New Worlds, there was a musical episode. So I haven't got a problem with it. I think it was fab. I loved that scene completely. I love all these things changing into things and bouncing around. And there's a scene in which one of the Unit soldiers gets, two of them, don't they? They get killed, and they're wondering if the soldiers are dead. And the Doctor says, "Oh, they're dead. So sorry, just so he gets that catchphrase in before he goes. and of course the bi-generation, which is the other sort of thing that's been being a bit what's the word for it, controversial now.
People are using that as an explanation as to how Tom Baker could become the curator and things like that.
Maybe so. Well, they said it's the only time it's happened. But I'm going to say about this bi-generation thing, right? They said it's first time it's ever happened. When the Doctor originally regenerated, that's the first time it ever happened. It was a way of renewing the series and making it, just extending it and being, original. And I haven't got a problem with it. I thought I was a bit frustrated, but it was so great to watch. Okay, what am I going to try to weigh this up? I go, my old traditional Doctor Who head, or something new, something exciting that I'm getting really excited about sitting there watching it. And I thought, well, that's what TV's about, isn't it? You've got to sit there, enjoy it for the moment, and if you get that enjoyment and you think about it too much afterwards, like we do with Doctor Who, then you might start thinking, oh, it's a bit stupid. But no, I didn't. I thought it was great. It was lovely to see the new Doctor be able to interact with the old Doctor there and then, rather than waiting for a multi-Doctor episode to come up in the future. And to get a taste of Ncuti's version of the Doctor as well.
Well, also, and only the Doctor could tell the Doctor to calm down and just sit out for a bit.
It was beautifully acted, beautifully done. It was a bit silly. Well, pull. I thought he was going to fart when he said, "Well, can you pull?" When he was, it's going to be a noise, But obviously, if anybody with eagle eye will notice that one hand was black, one hand was white, and obviously pull and apart. But there was an element of silliness about it, but it was a toy maker episode, for goodness sake. I've heard people moaning about the toy maker's hammer knocking another TARDIS through from the other one. Again, it's a toy maker episode, and I always thought that when they did the original.
The normal laws do not apply in a toy maker episode.
But there was a talk that William Hartnell was going to be leaving Doctor Who in the toy maker episode, and they were just going to change it. The toy maker was going to change his face, or something like that. So it's quite possible. They could have gone down that route, but at the end of the day, it's the producers of Doctor Who trying to renew it, to bring it on for another potential 10 years of success, and they've got to try it, even if it doesn't work. So for me personally, because of that amazing surprise, because I didn't expect this thing with the two splitting in half,
quiet, didn't they? Yeah.
They were just talking it's going to be regeneration. We saw that little hint of a regeneration, didn't we? And then it was so well done, and I love surprises. I hope Kirby hates them, but I love surprises in Doctor Who, and this was a big surprise. Loved it.
Why are you putting words in my mouth?
Because I know you like your spoilers, don't you, Kirby? So I liked it.
When you get around to letting us talk about things, I'll comment about it.
Am I not allowed to talk? Oh, sorry, I thought I was allowed to say something. I'll move over to Debbie. What did you think?
Okay. I'm absolutely excited to see Ncuti in this. Absolutely excited. He's a phenomenal actor in everything I've seen him in, and just really been looking forward to what he's going to bring. And obviously they come straight into the ball game. And I like the use of that, because I was like, really? That's like one of the first games? It's like, absolutely. Throw one thing at someone, throw it back. Oh, look, game of catch,
Absolutely.
And so I like that. But going back to all the puppets and things, I'd completely forgotten that my daughter will not watch things like Labyrinth and Dark Crystal for big reasons.
Yes.
And she did so well until we got to the bit with the puppet talking. I think it was when the Toy Master's actually looming across the top of the building and the roof's off, and he's puppeteering the guy who bought the original puppet for the Giggle.
That's so cool.
And I thought that was brilliant. And suddenly there's a wail from behind me. Nyla's under a blanket running upstairs, basically. It's like, okay. I mean, there's a picture of me at 2 behind the sofa because of Daleks on screen. And, it was. I mean, we've barely got her over the Vashta Narada thing and the Are You My Mummy thing. And now so I'm just freaking my child out every few years with Doctor Who. Don't mind me,
You did get her to finish the story, though, right?
Haven't, no. She's definitely up for it. But I reenacted the whole ending for her, and
did you reenact the regeneration? Sorry, the bi-generation
Well, sort of demonstrated what would happen.
That would have been interesting to watch.
I was in her bedroom just acting out the last sequence with the dancing Spice Up Your Life and things like that. She seemed really interested, but she's terrified of puppets. I mean, terrified. I don't even know what the actual name of the phobia is, but yeah, it's a proper thing. Yeah. I'd love to sit and watch Dark Crystal with her. I can't. Yeah. But I thought Neil Patrick Harris, he's just brilliant as the toy maker and scary and unpredictable. But it did feel, especially when he's doing the dancing bit, that as you say, he's the master. And I'm looking forward to all the new master cosplays of the Gold Tooth.
Yes.
And I thought the use of the music and having Unit involved as well. Unit didn't need to be in this one at all, other than for the fact they had a laser.
Yes.
But I felt that it was quite a good ensemble cast, all of them there together.
Sorry to interrupt you, but talking of the laser, I've seen pictures that the laser goes through the Doctor's private parts rather than his hearts.
It looked to me like it went right through the center of his chest.
Yeah, just
maybe
goes
somebody, maybe the picture I saw had been edited. It had been edited.
Yeah, I was going to say, somebody done it, because when it was happening, I was like, no, James Bond, we expect you to die.
Nice one. I get it. Nice one.
But I have a lot of love for this one. I'm looking forward to Shooty, but I felt that we got yet another massive long David Tennant goodbye.
It wasn't quite as long as the previous one, but it was indeed.
Actually, in his own garden, though. That was pretty cool. That's David Tennant's actual garden.
Oh, was it?
Was it his TARDIS in the background? That's his TARDIS in the garden.
Oh, brilliant.
I had no idea.
I didn't either.
And I just love the idea of Wilfoff shooting moles living forever, shooting moles with their force fields. I think that's brilliant. And it was great just to see him stop the Doctor, because it's not just the Doctor, it's not just Tennant's Doctor, this is all our Doctors just stopping and relaxing. But it also felt like, Tennant's got another mahoosive goodbye scene, whereas other Doctors didn't get really the time of day before they just went ding, off I go,
Well, I think Jodie's was quite a big goodbye scene, wasn't it?
Yeah, it just seems to be the thing now, that instead of sorry guys, I'm about to regenerate, now it's they get the time to say goodbye and revisit old faces and things like that. And we've sort of gone from it being an emergency life-saving situation to him being able to clean up his affairs. Okay. But I'm wondering if that harks back to when Colin Baker took over and they made out that his regeneration was wrong, that something gone wrong, so he was a bit mean and weird and it didn't work.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if we're being too careful with his regenerations, but I'm so looking forward to Shooty. Let somebody else talk. I just feel like I've prattled.
You have rabbited on, but then you do owe us some, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
Lillian Robbins says, the only thing about the Spice Girls thing is that the bloke from the Smurfs movies, NPH, can sing. She didn't say about the Smurfs, I did, by the way, I did that bit. Can sing, and they didn't let him. Maybe they would have had to pay him quite a lot extra to do some singing, potentially, Lillian, sorry. And also, Lillian says, pupophobia in regards to the...
That's it.
Yeah. And then, say goodbye to all this and hello to oblivion. Kirby, what did you think?
Well, I'm sorry, Master, but I did a little moonlighting, and we went for 2.5 hours talking about the Giggle on Who Station 1. The last
so you didn't have to say anything then? Okay, let's go. I must have to play this first.
Basically, we all loved it.
I knew he was on there.
We all loved it. Some people have problems with bi-generation. Some of us did not have problems with it. I had no problems whatsoever. I thought the whole episode was brilliant. I love the fact that we have new Doctor Who. I love the fact that I can watch Doctor Who at the exact same time that you guys do.
Yay! That's been great.
I mean, of those 3 episodes, the only one that I was late watching was the second one, and I was all of 15 minutes late.
I was 3 hours late for the Giggle.
But I'm able to get out there, and anything that is spoilery. I didn't have to worry about, even though I love spoilers. But I was all of the commentary.
That was terrific. The fact that you didn't see many pages going, no spoilers, because everyone was getting it at the same time for the first time in ages.
Well, I wasn't. As I say, I didn't watch it until I'd finished filming at Shanklin Theatre. Ooh, well, I think my video things. Oh, it's because I'm on a different page.
Oh, what was that?
That was a bit weird. What was it?
I have no idea.
That was weird. Anyway, yeah. But Day of the Doctor we all saw at the same time, which was pretty cool, and there were no commercials in that first showing of Day of the Doctor, and now we have no commercials again with Disney Plus, unless you've got the lower tier Disney Plus. So,
is there a lower tier Disney Plus? I've never seen that.
As I understand, there is.
Not in this country,
okay.
There isn't.
Not in this country, no. You get one.
I never heard of a lower Disney Plus.
No.
Yeah. I don't know if it's been implemented yet, but they said that there's a version that has commercials.
Oh.
So they're making it more available, I suppose.
Right, which I'm going to stick with the commercial-free version.
Yes.
But the Giggle was one of my best times watching Doctor Who in a long time, and then almost immediately after I watched it, I brought Fred down to the Geek Basement, and she watched it, and she loved it as well.
Good.
And she had no problem with By Generation.
Doc Duty with his Rwandan heritage allowed to express that is just brilliant.
With his accent, Jimmy.
His accent and also the teeth sucking when he's
getting
yes.
Really yeah.
And also, there's a Rwandan proverb on the Sonic.
Yes, there is.
Is there? Yeah. I didn't see that. I've seen the Sonic, but I haven't seen it in great detail.
I can't remember what it says, but it's a Rwandan proverb. Yeah.
Yeah, it's written in Gallifreyan, but it's a Rwandan proverb, which is really cool.
Upstairs,
I don't remember what it was. Sorry. Anyway, I keep going on and on, and I loved it.
Okay, well, thank you, Kirby. Thank you very much. Right, everybody, brace yourselves.
It's Mary!
That's 2 times we're going to hear this today.
Okay, here we come.
Here we come. Today.
Okay, I loved the combination of David Tennant and Catherine Tate, but I loved it where it was. And bringing them back for these specials, for me, was like, oh my God. It's like asking for a second piece of that wonderful cake or that wonderful pie that you loved so much, but you're already full. And so it just doesn't taste as good. It was like, I was over it already. I wanted to remember Donna as being, that she had part of the Doctor in her brain, but now she's going to die if she sees him again. I like just leaving that there. The fact that she's here now and she was dead and she comes to life and she still has a piece of the Doctor in her brain and on. It's like, oh, please, can we move on to some new pastures? I wanted
He's
something
everywhere now, isn't he, the Doctor, really?
Die, Doctor, die.
Really, yeah. And then the By Generation, okay, it's fun. I mean, we have the Timeless Child, we have the By Generation. It's like, we're just making things up left and right. And it's, as you're always saying, science fiction, fantasy, okay, whatever they want to do. But how many versions of the 10th Doctor do we need floating around?
Yeah, I did mention
he's
that.
Off with Rose,
I'll go with it.
He's off with Donna, and who knows, where he might be somewhere else. And it makes me wonder.
He's in Donna's head. He's in Rose's head.
Yeah. Is he threatening? Is he hanging out in the background now so that if Shooty finds himself in trouble, it's like, okay, come on,
I think the only thing you're mentioning, Mary, is that he's hanging around the background if nobody likes Shooty by way of a safety net for Doctor Who. So just
yeah, which I think
hopefully that won't. Have faith in Shooty. That's what I say.
Yeah, it diminishes Shooty as a full-on Doctor because now there's another Doctor hanging around.
Yes. I was trying to express that. What you were saying is it did seem to diminish his solo moment.
Yeah, I suppose it did.
Yeah. the introduction, but it worked. But it was
I
also,
want him just emerged as the Doctor, and yay, we're ready to move on. But no, he's got to, like, from the beginning, share the screen, with what has historically been the most popular Doctor. I think it diminished him, and I'm sorry to see that, because I think Ncuti will make a great Doctor, of course, depending on the stories they give him.
Absolutely.
I found the proverb, it's the sharpness of the tongue defeats the sharpness of the warrior. Well, I hope that bodes well for his tenure, Mary.
Okay. The ball throwing scene, I think, just went on and on and on. It's like, are we going to conclude this in some way? Did they really need that much of a filler? That these guys were going to play ball for like 5 solid.
Well, they had Ncuti in his pants, so I think he was just enjoying the moment.
We all wanted to watch Ncuti in his pants. And of course, the Doctor moving forward is going to need a bigger Sonic. I mean, look what it does anymore. It builds walls and buildings, and it destroys things. And it's like, wait a minute, is it the Doctor? What happened to the Doctor being the cleverest brain in the room, that he can figure things out and he can do things without violence, without hurting anybody? But now he's like a construction engineer. Anything he wants, that Sonic will make happen. So for me, that also diminishes the image of the Doctor when he can just have his Sonic do everything.
And you're used to him solving things with his intellect.
Yeah. I mean, the Doctor, I wrote a long piece when Adam, put out his thing about, the new Doctor stuff. And I wrote a fairly long piece that I probably will never be able to recall again. But what I'm saying is that the Doctor that I fell in love with was one who could outsmart, be creative, work his way around whoever the antagonist is in any story. And sometimes the companions would help, and that was great. But we learned, and I think that was a great lesson for us. We as the viewing audience learned, as your Rwandan thing says, being the brain is better than, using, having a fancy, flashy weapon. But slowly we have progressed to the point now where it's all about the Sonic. It's like the Doctor doesn't have to be smart anymore. He can demolish buildings and build things and whatever he wants to do.
The force field here and there,
Yeah. So and the CGI and all. I mean, it's nice. It makes things more real for us. But yeah, it takes a lot of, I think, the creativity out of the making of the program when they can just do anything with green screens. And I look at all three of these specials as RTD's big, wet, loving kiss to the fans. I'm bringing back everything you guys have been talking about missing and wanting, and what it all is. Yeah, I'm wrapping it all up in a big bow for you for Christmas. And maybe those of you that are loving it are going to drag your friends, who've gone away or who have never seen, and make them fall in love with all of this too. Because the new Doctor, so far, Ncuti, although he looks like he's going to be a good Doctor, so far in this last story, the Giggle, all he is this, lovey, cushy, sweetie, huggy thing. I don't need to see that out of the Doctor. That's what the companion is for. Let me think if there's anything else I can think of. Yeah, and the Toymaker. I am bothered by the characterization of the Toymaker, because the original Toymaker was this unflappable, incredibly intelligent, cool, above it all kind of guy that you just couldn't outwit him. You just couldn't. Whereas this guy is more weapons and devices and, shouting at, well, that's okay then, stuff like that. So to me, I would rather see a Toymaker in it closer to the original mold. I found him far more threatening than I found this guy, the way they've envisioned him this time around. So that's what I think.
Well, thank you,
I'm glad you were able to remember the Toymaker, because we were all on Earth Station Who. We were all going. Does anyone remember watching the Toymaker? And
of course I remember watching.
Yeah,
I was the only person who had actually seen that one of all those people.
Well,
and
it's because
I
we've done
don't
the journey.
I don't remember.
Ooh.
I don't remember.
He was a cool cookie, and he was threatening because of that.
He was wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. I found him far more threatening just because he just, nothing got in his way, nothing bothered him, and he wore those long robes that just made
the
him
Oriental robes, yeah.
Yeah.
The colorization's a bit odd, I must say, but I went back and watched it again, and I meant to show Tom and Isla it before.
Yeah.
But we didn't have time.
This guy jumping all over the place reminds me a lot more of our just previous master. I can't remember his name, but he was always extremely active in yelling, and to me he was more of a master in
well,
this.
That's all right then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mary.
He wasn't the toy maker for me.
Okay.
No, he did have a smack of the master, didn't he?
It wasn't all that bad, was it, everybody? Okay, so moving on to the next segment of the show is Into the Dalek, which again we're doing quite well with these quick synopses. That's not a word I know, Debbie, but I'm going to say it like that anyway. The episode begins.
Well, it's microwave, but I use that all the time.
Yeah, thank you. The episode begins with a couple of starfighters on the verge of crashing.
And Mrs. Tom Hiddleston, I didn't realise she was in this one.
Nor did I. But anyway, it's on the verge of crashing and is about to crash. The brothers did. But instead of crashing, which did crash, she ends up in the TARDIS and threatens the Doctor with a gun. I do love the Doctor in that scene, by the way, when he's she's threatening him. He's forgotten
He's
to
just
mention
waiting
that
for a please.
her brother's just died, but he's been a bit sort of cocky. But it is quite a great scene, that.
Does anyone else feel that in this first season of season series of Peter Capaldi, they made him look drawn and old, and then like second season he was like allowed to just be himself.
Yeah.
Maybe so,
I totally agree. Yes.
And I don't like how grumpy he is.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Maybe he's just a bit grumpy, but I don't mind. I still like it. So anyway, after he sort of rescues her and he takes her back to the big mothership, because it's a big fight against the Daleks. Obviously, I love the Dalek spaceships. I noticed that all the military people that she works with are very much like the current unit people with what their sort of attire and everything.
I think they probably nicked the equipment off them for unit now.
Yes. They say, well, you're a doctor, you can help us with our case, which of course is the Dalek. Which, again, it was quite reminiscent of the Dalek, as in Robert
Dalek,
Shivers. Yeah. Beautifully
Dalek.
sort of rendered and everything. The next scene after the title sequence, we meet Danny Pink and how he and Clara.
Yeah, this season goes flippity flop.
Yes. Would you mind, please? They're
Sorry.
at Coal Hill School, and he's the PE teacher, and he's obviously got a bit of PTSD, but he's trying to get on with his teaching job. And there's a great. I love the scene in
he was the maths teacher.
I like the scene in the classroom where he sort of gets emotional and
math
the kid.
Classroom.
What?
It's a math classroom.
I don't give a tinker's cuss.
He's
Anyway.
not a PE teacher. That's
Oh, he did a bit all right. He was doing the cadets thing. I don't know. He's now a maths teacher.
That's thing.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, he gets upset, and I like the fact that the class, instead of taking the mickey out of him, sort of respond a little bit to, and slightly in a confused way, to his emotions. Then he meets Clara, and they sort of seem to have an immediate attraction to each other.
They're supposed to.
So she more or less talks him into, because he sort of says no to a date, doesn't he? And then he says, I should have said yes and whatnot. But she talks him into it. And just as they're about to, she changes into a dress and everything. And just about she's about to go, that's later on, sorry. The doctor pops up and takes, because he needs Clara for this particular job that he's got. To the Dalek.
The Dalek, you in?
Yeah. And then we go, well, what's that? There was a film, wasn't it, with Raquel Welch in it, where they get miniaturised to go inside the
What's that called?
Greatest Journey or something like that.
Fantastic Voyage.
Fantastic Voyage,
that's it. Magnificent Journey in my
They should remake that film. I read that it was a cracking movie, but they should remake it with modern
The
day
Doctor was referencing it
Yes, he was. That would
Yeah.
make a great movie.
Yeah.
So anyway, they decide that they've got to send the Doctor into the Dalek to sort of find out why he's a good Dalek. Are you a good Dalek? Anyway, so in they go in this sort of micro machiney thingy. But to cut a long story short, Kirby, what actually happens when they're inside? They find the fault. There's this leaking radiation. The only thing I found confusing about this leaking radiation thing was the Daleks were created from radiation. I would have thought that wouldn't really have any effect on them whatsoever. Maybe it's a special type of radiation.
Master,
what?
It's a science fiction fantasy TV.
Okay, so they go inside the Dalek and they fix the crack in the bedroom wall. Oh, sorry, no, the crack in the interior of the Dalek. After some great scenes in which they get covered in all sorts of gunk and stuff. I like the Dalek antibodies; they're quite cool. But they reminded me of another type of antibody that they'd had in Doctor Who. Wasn't it in the Tesselector? Didn't they have a
Tesselectors? Yes.
Yes, yeah.
And the Tesselector people also have shrinking technology, so I wonder if they're related to these soldiers.
Maybe so. So anyway, after the Doctor fixes the crack in the bedroom wall.
All that slime and goo that they're all.
Mary's trying to say something.
Sorry, I'm listening to Mary now. Thank you, Kirby, but you talked over her.
Well, I didn't hear the first thing that she said. So
let's see if she wouldn't mind repeating what she said. I do apologise, Mary.
Did you notice that after they crawl around in that slimy gook and finally get out, that the very next scene that they're walking, they're all dried off and absolutely clean?
Mary,
absolutely.
Mary.
Yeah, they're supposed to stay goopy.
Mary. Two things, Mary. Right. One, it reminded me of the Beast Below thingy when the Doctor and Amy went down into the sticky bit. And the other bit, it's a science fiction fantasy TV show. Right then. So after the Doctor fixes the crack in the bedroom wall, the Dalek is cured and is back to being mean and horrible again, starts killing people. And the Doctor realises
his fleet.
A bit of a mistake. So now he has another mission of climbing right up to the top and showing the Dalek what he's
the
forgotten.
Beauty of the sun.
Yeah. Yes. And making him essentially mad again, but making him nice again. And that's what they do. Sorry?
Making him nice mad.
Yeah.
Is there such a thing?
So
but apparently there is in this.
They climb up high. There's a couple of... Oh, yeah, one of the soldiers gets done in, one of the lady soldiers. She sacrifices herself, essentially, and ends up sitting with Missy and having a cup of tea or coffee, depending on what Missy decides to make. And onwards they go, and, of course, after a typical Doctor speech... the Dalek is made nice again, and that sort of saved everyone. I think the Dalek then goes off and kills all the remaining Daleks, and that's essentially the end of that episode. Oh yeah, the Tom Hiddleston's missus asked if she can join the Doctor and Clara on. I think the Doctor said something on the lines of no.
The Doctor says he would have loved to have had her if she wasn't a soldier.
That's it, yes. Because the Doctor's not long being a soldier himself, is he, really? But
no, exactly.
More of a mercenary than a soldier. But there you go. Yeah, it's cool. That's so that was
But then he's nice enough to Danny Pink later.
Yeah, that's the quickest. Yeah, she does actually go and have the date with Danny Pink. And she's more or less, unusually for the Doctor, on time for it, but wearing different clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. So okay.
The doctor is really against Danny for quite a while because he's a soldier.
Also, Doctor maybe knows what's going to happen to Danny because he's a Time Lord. Anyway, so moving back. Okay, into the Dalek. I'd forgotten. I knew the basics in my mind of what happened in this story, that they go inside Dalek. But I'd forgotten all the other bits in the story-wise, and you do notice a slight difference in Capaldi's Doctor, but it wasn't enough to worry me. I quite enjoyed all that aspect of the story, the being inside the Dalek, when it changes back into a mean Dalek and starts killing. I think, and of course the sucker bit going on the control panel, that was obviously a little flashback to the original Dalek story. But again, it's one of these situations that you remember what people are saying about the Moffat era and Capaldi's first season, and I watched the episode and I'm thinking, it's almost feeling like watching it new again, because I've only seen it the once, and I don't understand it because I really enjoyed it. I was trying to watch it while working. What I ended up doing was turning my chair and watching the episode, there without having to lose concentration on it. So I'm starting to wonder what the hell's going on because I enjoyed it. What did you think about it, Debbie?
I didn't really enjoy it the first time round. I felt we were just treading over new ground, but I know we're trying to sort of get more of an introduction to our Doctor, but we're also trying to shoe in the Clara arc, which we've already been focused on her way too much, and now we're focusing even harder on her and her love life. I'm sorry, I'm not interested in what's going on at the school. I'm interested in what the Doctor's up to in the TARDIS. This is Doctor Who, and this is where we really see the juxtaposition of it being the Doctor and Clara show. It's just too bitty, and the story doesn't really go along. You're there 1 minute, you're up in space, next we're emoting with Danny Pink, and I get it. I get what we're trying to do here, and I'm not dissing anybody with PTSD or anything like that. But it is a case of we're supposed to be off with the Doctor, not at home on Earth. Just living a life. I get that we are living a life. We're tuning into Doctor Who to.
Debbie, I didn't feel that Danny Pink was let's have a sort of bit of PTSD. I thought that at the time there was Clara's going to fall in love with the Doctor again because they've already called him her boyfriend, blah blah blah. They wanted Clara to have her own boyfriend to fall in love with. So the Doctor was definitely just a friend.
Yeah, I know. No, I get that, but you're missing the point. The point is that now we are definitely in. This is Clara's section of the episode of Doctor Who, and this is the Doctor's section of Doctor Who, and he slowly gets sidelined as we get more and more closer to Clara's big finale, and it's supposed to be the Doctor's grand finale,
yes,
and it's not. Yeah, and this is where I really have a problem with watching Doctor Who from now on until we lose Clara, because I don't enjoy it as a storytelling. Someone said to me the other week, "Oh, you must be jealous of Clara," and I'm like, where the hell did you get that from? I want more Doctor Who. That's all it ever was. But because I've made comments on some forums, there's people going, "Oh no, you obviously are really jealous of like this young, beautiful woman on Doctor Who." I'm like, where the hell did you get that from? I'm not jealous of anybody, It's like, I'm jealous of someone. It's my old self who could walk properly, That's it. But it just mind boggled that that's what they read from what I was trying to say about the fact that this is Doctor Who. But I love the reference in this one to Fantastic Voyage, and just because that is one of my earliest memories is watching that on TV. It's one of my earliest memories. I loved that film. And just the concept of it, but we didn't see enough of the Dalek inside the Dalek. It didn't really feel like we were inside the Dalek. It felt like another base under siege thing. And it's not. We're inside one of the most dangerous machines in the universe, and you'd think that the machine that was made that meticulously deranged for itself, all the love of Daleks, that sort of thing, would have maybe a few more bugs in there and things to fight off, and you get a few, but you want a full-on assault going on because you're trying to penetrate the most intimate part of a Dalek. You'd think that Davros would have put something in there to go, no, you can't do this, you're not going to change their mind, instead of like almost having a switch, good, bad switch, It
seemed like it was mostly empty in there.
Yeah, exactly. And I get why they did that, but it did feel more like, no, I know that there's the element of the Dalek casing is the craft, it's the thing that the Dalek actually lives in and is its life support machine. I get that. But I just wanted a bit more of a tussle. I get all the negotiating with it and showing it the beauty of the universe and things like that. I get that, because some people need that showing to them to just, look at this sunrise, look at this, just take.
Where was that? Where was that organic thing that was inside the?
It was at the end.
Yeah, at the end. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was an eye. We didn't really see, the full organic thing.
Yeah, we're supposed. We get to see them a bit better later.
Yeah, you see them when the Dalek goes back to being mad again. You see the universe in his eye, don't you?
Yeah, but that's his eye. Yeah, you want the whole, like when we had Dalek Khan, he was completely exposed and being absolutely glorious in his casing. Yes. I have seen. I loved him. And so I was hoping for a bit more of that, I think, more than anything. But no, it was this episode. I feel like he could have taken on another companion. He could.
Yeah.
Like that Zawe would.
It might have helped.
She might have been more interesting.
Yes. But I feel like, no, we've got to take on the Clara arc. And I'm like, no. You could have done with her being there constantly and go off and do your Clara storyline like you want to. But we've got someone else who's interacting with the Doctor other than the Doctor alone. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm rambling again. I'm sorry about this.
Not good enough.
But I struggle from now on with this story arc with Clara. But then Capaldi really hits his pace in the Series 9. And I think it's tragedy that he didn't stick around longer, because he's brilliant. But in the late, he really takes a while to find his feet. And when he does, he's one of the best Doctors.
Well, is it him finding his feet, or is it the writers?
Writers, yeah.
And the showrunner finding their feet, yeah.
Yeah. But again, music, always sublime in the way of storytelling, especially with Doctor Who. And it helped move this along a lot faster than it would have been if we hadn't had like such good music in this one. So I could take or leave this one. I'm not going to go back deliberately to watch it again, but I will if it's on.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. What's his name? Oh yeah, Kirby. What did you think?
It's interesting how I've watched my attitude towards this one change through the years. When I first saw it, I really didn't like it at all. And then, but a couple of days after first seeing it, by the time we talked about it 10 years ago, I liked it better. It's kind of a middling thing. And this time I watched it the other night, and I've got some quibbles with it, but I really enjoyed it. Clara isn't to the irritating point to me yet, although I know it's coming. I thought there was a lot of back and forth, and where they interacted and where she was doing stuff on her own was good. Although I expected as she's bringing back the memories at the end, I expected her, the Dalek, to start singing the HAL 9000 stuff. Reminded me of it.
Yes.
But it's not my favorite, not by a long shot. It's some big plot holes with it, but I'm able to look over them and just enjoyed it. I'd forgotten that for some reason this entire story has this obsession with eyes. They go into the Dalek eye, the things that are, I want to say platelets, not the antibodies are eye-shaped. There's eyes on Clara's shirt.
Yeah, I was going to say there's eyes on her shirt.
Yeah, there's eyes everywhere, which I don't know why. It's just weird. And I pointed that out 10 years ago, and I'd forgotten until I listened to us again this morning. Anyway, I liked it. I like this Doctor very, very much, and I'm looking forward to that stupid bird taking that companion away from us.
Yeah, let's not hark on about that too much, Kirby, because it is quite a while away, and let's try and just sort of...
Yeah, unfortunately.
The whole point of the journey is to take each episode one by one in its course, sort of rather more rapidly than we would have done if we'd waited week by week by week by week.
Let me put it this way: I'm enjoying it better this time around than the last time around.
Yeah.
Snap.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, let's just try and, like I say, one by one episodes, and by the end of this year, we would already be in the Jodie Whittaker era, and by the end of the following year,
one more thing,
we won't have anything left to talk about. Yes, carry on.
One more thing. I find it interesting that neither the TARDIS.fandom.com or the Wikipedia article point out that the leaked episode had a different ending. If you remember, this is one of the episodes that leaked online early. And as with next week's, the robots of Sherwood also had a different ending.
Okay.
In the original ending, which was in the rough cut that had been leaked, Rusty goes back and explodes himself, destroying the Dalek fleet. And neither of those articles mention that.
Okay.
But remember, Rusty comes back in the last episode of Capaldi?
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe he'd come up with that idea already.
We're jumping well ahead again, later. Kirby.
Maybe Moffat had already thought about that, and that's why in the months between the leak and the broadcast, they decided to change it.
Maybe so. Anyway, back to the live feed. Lily Robin says, say goodbye to all this and hello to Oblivion. Terry Miles says, Rocky, Rocky, Rocky. After the, and then Lillian says, excellent.
Rocky.
Thank you. Lillian Robin says, excellent, you got the reference, but Adam and co didn't get the reference. And then I was quoting Rocky Horror for those who didn't understand. Thank you for that, Lillian. Okay, nearly forgot where I was. Yes, it's... Oh, Mary?
Yes, well, I mean, compared to how I reacted to the Giggle, I this one's going to come off a little bit more positive. I think, I don't remember whether I liked or didn't like it the last time I saw it. I probably didn't.
You liked it.
I did like it. Well, I kind of liked it this time, too. And this is like the first of many times. The doctor asks the question, am I a good man? And that bothered me this time, and it will bother me every time he asks it, because we already saw the tortured face of the 11th Doctor at times, when you knew he was looking at the darker side of himself. I think he conveyed that so well just in his face. But in this case and in upcoming, episodes, he's going to keep asking that question. And so it bothers me. I don't like it put out there like that. I'd rather see it acted than verbalized.
Agreed.
I thought the brief Missy interlude was kind of interesting. I didn't then, and I don't know now where this is going. I mean, because she's made her second, brief but mysterious appearance. So I know we're going to know more later, but up until now, it was intriguing to have Missy suddenly, make an appearance. And yes, this is the start of Clara becoming, the doctor.
Yeah.
Because she's the one who questions the doctor when he says, okay, this is it, we're all done, we're going to be destroyed. She goes, wait a minute, what are you thinking? And what are you what is the alternative view, or however she put it? She keeps pushing him until he thinks, oh, okay. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, and as Adam noted, he already looks like pale and kind of drawn.
It was Kirby who
noted
that.
Older than I think he needs to.
Yes, he really does look haggard compared to his later incarnation. Yeah.
So
I'm quite surprised.
When she pushes him, it's like, oh my gosh, we're already setting the stage for him to become, this helpless creature that dependent on her to front for him with people, and which sometimes is funny, but but how easily she can take over because of how he's almost, relegating, running the show to her. So this is like the beginning of it. And of course, she's extremely clever up there running around, figuring out, what's going on. Yeah. And again, it's because we're looking back that I know where it's going. So it's unfortunate. And if the Dalek sees the goodness and beauty of the universe in the Doctor's mind, why does the Doctor wonder if he's a good man? I mean, he knows, if he knows there's this wonderful universe out there, does the Doctor also see the hatred? I mean, it's so fuzzy. I don't know that it's well defined as to what the Dalek really saw in him, if the Doctor is doubting himself that much. And then there was an interesting line. The last thing I'll say is that there was a very interesting line that I probably missed first time around. When the Doctor explains how the Daleks defined him, he says, when I started, all I was doing was running, and then I met the Daleks, and that's what made me, realize what I had to do. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, that's really interesting. Because, before they had that Dalek episode, way back, William Hartnell, I mean, you don't get a feeling from him that he has a mission. But the Dalek episode is kind of where the mission begins. So I think that was a very clever insert of some background. Okay, so other than that, mildly enjoyed it.
Thank you, Mary. Well, that's got to be worth a sort of a Right, okay, Kirby has put out... Pardon, Debbie?
Adam, can I just add something? Because it's been great listening to Mary and Kirby, because obviously I only watched it like twice, and the first time I was like, ugh, and this time I was more involved in the story, but still knowing what's coming. But having listened to them, I'm going to try and watch what's coming with a more open mind than oh, here we go. Because storytelling, it's Doctor Who. I mean, we all love Doctor Who.
This is the thing, though. I mean, I feel a bit like I've betrayed Doctor Who in some ways by just assuming that, all of Moffat is crap. Nobody likes Clara.
You hit the nail on the head. I feel like I've betrayed my love for Doctor Who.
And what's actually happening is I'm sitting down watching.
The writers have.
Well, no, what's actually happening? I'm sitting down watching really good television.
And
it just emphasises the reason why Doctor Who is the best franchise, if you like use a modern phrase, out there, because of its flexibility, and that's why I think it's the best show.
Go into it.
So I feel I've been ultra critical. I've sat down and absolutely loved watching an episode that I have only seen 10 years ago or whatever it is, and I've more or less forgotten. So it's almost like watching new Doctor Who to me, and it's just sparkling.
Matt Smith's last stories were like that. I rewatching them, and I hadn't enjoyed them at all when I watched them the first time round, and going, actually, this is really good acting here, some really good storytelling,
Anyway, Kirby,
that was the thing. Oh darn! You just made me forget what I was gonna.
Did you walk through a door?
I
walked through a door.
No, we're talking about Kirby. We were talking about the fact that we've been a bit ultra critical of what is still an absolutely amazing program from what I've been watching. Recently.
It was interesting listening this morning to us talking about this 10 years ago when we talked about Deep Breath. It was Mary who first said, I think Missy may be the master.
Whoa, Mary! Well done.
And by this point, one episode later, it was just Mary, you, and me talking about Into the Dalek. And by that point, we were all going, she's got to be the master.
Yeah.
That's the only explanation. She's the master.
Cool.
And unfortunately, I'm gonna rip that the story where the Cybermen are coming out.
Can we wait for that, please, Kirby? Can we?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I had posted in my request for the feedback, I'd posted a really old picture that I remember seeing, 30 years ago, 35 years ago, showing what's inside of a Dalek, because we're doing Into the Dalek.
Very good. Yes.
And Duncan Knifton.
Try Nifton. I think a K is usually silent.
Okay. Interestingly, he's one of our top contributors. He says, interesting, as we can't actually see the creature inside. Speaking in that diagram, it just shows the container that the creature is in, because that illustration is way before we really saw much of anything. Yeah, we'd seen tentacles and stuff.
Yeah, but Kirby. In
Yes,
the first that Dalek story, 1963, there was a creature that was taken out of it, if I remember rightly.
Yes.
So as Ian could get into it, so that we knew there was a creature in that top bit.
The weird thing is in the version, the cut down version that they just put out, they don't really show that.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird.
Okay.
I mean, they show them taking something out, but you don't see the claw. I seem to recall it was a claw, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, Neil James says, Into the Dalek, great opening space chase battle, but after that I struggle to say anything too positive. Capaldi is obviously great, but I find Danny Pink a bit bland. Don't like Clara slapping the Doctor, and the guns and soldiers gets a bit dull. It's perfectly watchable, but just becomes a bit run-of-the-mill.
Right. Slapping of the Doctor. Queen Elizabeth I did the Doctor in one of these stories we watched quite recently, if I remember rightly.
Did the Doctor, eh?
Yeah.
And yes, and also we just saw Donna's mom slap the Doctor.
Yeah.
It's always a bit of a comedy thing, because the Doctor will look away from the slap into the camera and move his jaw around a little bit. I haven't got a problem with that.
Now, do you want me to read Roberts?
No. Roberts, okay. Yes, Roberts. Do Roberts.
Okay. Robert says, I'm going to have to bail on tonight. I'm fading fast and need some sleep. My back's killing me right now. Sorry. So some feedback. First on Into the Dalek. I enjoyed it more this time around, even though it's a fairly weak kind of story. A thing that stands out is the way the Doctor says, trust me, to that guy, gives him something to eat, a distraction perhaps, and he dies. I don't like the trust me line one bit. Just be honest. I think the stuff that's given to Capaldi at this period makes him so unlikable as the Doctor. You can be serious, but not so callous. And the grumpiness. He should have been far more likable, more like he was at the end. I was kind of expecting more from the interior of a Dalek, though. It's odd seeing the Clara Danny scenes in contrast to the adventure proper, though. And the random Missy scene. Oddly, I'd forgotten that this story featured more Daleks than just the one. I didn't find Clara all that bad for once. Looking through the extras on the Series 8 set, as I hadn't been through them before, it's interesting at a Q&A Peter, Jenna, and Stephen did, Peter was asked what he'd like for an episode to do. He said he would love to have the Mondasian Cybermen return. He got his wish in the end, which I thought was nice, even taking Peter's comments about latex into the equation, with the hands especially of the Cybermen. Anyway, on to the Giggle. I'm having to scroll, sorry. Now, this is a much better episode than the previous two. I've liked David's Doctor more this time, as he really slowed down things. He seems calmer, rather than his old manic betrayal. Very clever, the bi-generation, as it can now go on to explain why we see aged Doctors in their old incarnations, like the Curator, Tron's graying hair, and the 5 and 2 Doctors, and so on. Neil Patrick Harris was wonderful. He wasn't hammy. He wasn't? Okay.
Really?
They played the role so well. Some would have come to Doctor Who not knowing anything about it and make a mess. I think I would have preferred it if we could have had the Toymaker in all three stories. I hope he returns. All I can say of Gatwa is I hope he's not playing it all arrogant and cocky all the way through his tenure. That would be annoying. I guess we'll see how his first story goes soon enough anyway. On YouTube, someone did an animation of the Celestial Toymaker. One person did the animation. They've done such a good job. I suppose everybody's seen that the BBC are releasing their version soon enough. If you ask me, I would have leant towards getting the guy who did the YouTube animation, as his version looks better.
It is. It is much better.
I hope to join you next time. Yes, it is. I think they're pulling the wool over our eyes with that horrible BBC released one. It looks horrible. So, anyway.
Okay, well, thank you, Kirby. Right, so stuff coming through on our other channels for sending feedback into the show. I don't normally say what they are, the feedback channels, 20mb.feedback@gmail.com. I said it wrong. 20mb.feedback
It's so long since you said it.
Oh, and then you talked over it. We'll try again. 20mb.feedback@gmail.com. Of course, you can join, hopefully, I don't know how easy it is nowadays, but join the 20MB.2 podcast Facebook group, which you can join if I can get the words out tonight.
I haven't seen
And
any
finally,
new members. I haven't seen any new members in ages.
What?
I've not seen any new members in ages.
No. I changed the setup because we kept on getting spammy people coming in, and I can't change it back again, so it is what it is. I think you can add people, so. So what's the other method? We've done the Facebook, whatever. Oh yeah, you can, if you're watching on the live feed, you can pop comments in there as well. Or just send them straight to me if you happen to have me on Facebook. Right, so. I think you can actually send through the Podbean page as well, but I probably won't get to see it.
Well, you sent me some feedback.
I sent you some feedback? No, I didn't.
Well, I've got something here from Ben.
I sent you that. Ben's not actually feedback, it's just a comment Ben made on his own Facebook, which I thought was relevant, so I thought you could read it out after we listen to the dulcet hang on, what's the word for it? Dulcet tones of Andy Nunney, which you probably won't be understand the first bit of, because I think he gets his words into a bucket and then throws them down an embankment. And
like
the first bit, they tumble out in a load of and eventually some part of it might be coherent.
Andy, eh?
Let's see what it sounds like. Get the words in the bucket and chuck them down the embankment.
Well, good afternoon, 20 megabytes. Andy Nunney here. It's a Sunday afternoon and getting ready to go off to the church carol service. Yesterday I did my first parker in ages and then came back and did the ironing. And I watched Into the Dalek. And, it's rather good, isn't it? There's an interesting one because you talk with the soldier connection. Both with Danny Pink and then with the Aristotle. And it's, I think there's quite an interesting moral thing there when you read the Daleks in about justifying a just war. Now, I do remember our rector a few years ago at one of the men's breakfasts talking about, the possibility of a just war. He himself was a minister, had actually been in the Navy as a serving sailor and then rejoined as a minister. But it's quite interesting that, there is you justify a war? And I think that's what... with Danny Pink, there's obviously a lot of back history there. And then in the Aristotle, with the people there, it's, can they justify what they're doing? And with the Daleks, you see, because that's what Daleks are, aren't they? No, I think this is quite a good one, because it's the first time we actually get really close up into a Dalek to understand it. And having a Dalek, and then we've had the Dalek before, with the Dalek by itself. And again, this is a Dalek by itself, not part of the hive mind this time, but one that... started thinking and see beauty and things like that. And it's very interesting that the Doctor goes in believing that there is a good Dalek there, then finds out that by stopping the radiation leak, he reverts back to his old self, does Rusty. But then the Doctor is able to persuade him to think again and, to see the world, the universe, as it is, instead of, through a narrow load of hatred. But it's interesting that... the way the Dalek actually does see things, he still has got this veil of hatred, this lens, and it sees everything through. It's just he now sees things slightly differently with a slightly different context. I think that's what makes this story really quite fascinating from a moralistic viewpoint. And then of course, we wonder what happened at the end. Did he stay with it? Did Rusty stay on the Aristotle? I think that's what happened. We're not entirely sure. So that could be quite interesting to see, what's happened there. But of course, what was really interesting was the fact that, the Doctor wants to be a good, am I a good man? And at the end, Clara says, I don't know, are you? But then being told he would make a good Dalek. Now, that's actually fascinating because I think it, again, just shows the morals, rather, of the Doctor. What is he really trying to do? He actually just kill off one of the soldiers fairly early. He said everybody had died anyway. That's pretty cynical, isn't it? Because he bumped him off. And then another one went, and of course ended up with Missy. So there's seeds being sown there for the forthcoming story. Of course, you all know how that turns out. But I think again, it's interesting the way that we are sowing seeds for what's happening. Excuse me, what's happening in the future here? So there you go.
Be off in a minute.
Anyway, that was that. I did enjoy my parkrun. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do one for another few weeks. I've managed to go and crack a rib. I literally sat down, smacked the bottom of my rib cage against the side of the chair, and ended up in A&E this morning. So, God, I do seem to be getting very accident prone these days. Anyway, that'll be it. Well, looks a bit. So have a great Christmas, everybody. Really enjoy yourselves, and we look forward to many more podcasts in the new year. Bye for now.
Well, not too many, Andy, but thank you very much. Oh, poor Andy.
Yeah.
Oh, is everyone awake yet?
Yeah.
Hello? Just that.
Oh, are we back?
Yeah.
Oh, that's mean, Kirby.
He's never going to live that down.
So mean. Oh, dear. Right, then. There's nothing coming through on the live feed. So I'll move over to Debbie, who's very keen to read what Ben said on his own Facebook.
Ben Shoveler has sent this. Thinking about it, RTD killed Doctor Who this evening. Well, he killed old Doctor Who and everything I knew and loved about it. Sorry?
No, he didn't.
He's allowed to have his opinion. That's why we're loved by the public.
Are we? Yeah, I've never known that before.
By separating the Doctor and creating this new Ace Rimmer version to fly off and take over being the Doctor, he's shown a big middle finger to everyone who didn't like what's become canon, the thingy child stuff and all the recent changes. This is now Doctor Who Season 1 and it's a blank sheet. There's no more arguing about how the Doctor wouldn't be black, white, male, female, gay, straight, bisexual, trisexual or whatever. He can now make the Doctor whatever he wants and whatever he says goes. What he did tonight and how he did it was brilliantly written. The Doc had a happy ending for everyone who is going to leave it there, and the new Doctor has taken over and will be aimed at youngsters with their ethics and ideologies, a Disney Doctor for Generation Z. 60 years of history wiped out in a bi-generation or whatever it was called. Ironically, the man who saved the Doctor has now killed him.
Well, there you go.
There is a lot of that.
You go, Ben.
Yeah, there is a lot of that online. I was quite shocked by some of the vitriol as well. It's like...
Like I said in my post, I can't understand. This is a program. People get so serious about this side of things. It's a program about an alien with two hearts travelling in a police box.
Yeah.
It's a spaceship that's big on the inside, etc., etc. And this is what Doctor Who has done throughout its 60 years of life to survive. It's done innovative things to keep it going. If you look at each generation is slightly different in the way it happens. I think somebody said something like, maybe the bi-generation explains the curator, da-da-da. They've said this is the only and first time so far that it's happened. So it doesn't explain any other thing because it hasn't happened before. But there you go.
We can go back in time later and sort it all out.
But it's the sort of thing that if you... I remember I was thinking the other day when I went to the Wales Comic Con, I had that picture done with Davison, Baker, McGann and McCoy. And when I came in, when I walked away from the photo, Colin Baker said, he's a massive fan of Doctor Who. And I thought, well, no, I'm not that big, But clearly I am a big fan of the show. Otherwise, I would be bothered by this sort of stuff. And all I'm bothered in is that my favourite programme keeps going. I don't expect to like every single episode, but I like it when it's brave and it does things new and it's able to carry on. And the fact that you don't know what the next episode's going to be about, whether it's going to be a murder mystery or whether it's going to be some timey-wimey thing, and I find that exciting. And even I find it exciting going back and watching the stuff I've already watched that is my favourite type of subject, And I don't understand how people get so anal about things that in the larger scheme of things don't really matter. The Doctor Who as a story medium, and there's a humongous amount of Doctor Who literature out there, whether it be books, whether it be Big Finish, whether it be actual series itself, whether it be the movies that Peter Cushing was in, which are completely different, aspect of what we see on the TV or whatnot, but people still love them and they still feel that it's Doctor Who. So at the end of the day, I don't understand it. It's Doctor Who. It's great. And I'm going to rub my eye. So we've got some more stuff come through. Mary, I sent you something.
Yes, you did. This is from Linda and Terry Miles. And they say, Danny Pink has no special awareness if he didn't know Clara was watching him from the doorway. We loved the interplay between the Doctor and Clara. In quotes, where have you been? You sent me for coffee 3 weeks ago in Glasgow. In Glasgow? That's dead in a ditch. This is not my assistant. She's some other word. I'm his carer. Yeah, my carer. She cares so I don't have to.
That was
How
good.
do I look? Sort of short and roundish, but with a good personality, which is the main thing. I mean, my clothes. I just changed.
That was a good line.
Yeah. What's that look for? It's the look you get before I slap you.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah. Danny says, are you really going to go for a drink with me? Yeah, of course I am. Why wouldn't I? I just thought what? I thought you might have a rule against soldiers. No, not at all. Not me.
Yeah, not him. Not her.
Yeah. It's Danny Pink. He's a soldier, you know. Hello, I'm Missy. Welcome to heaven. Would you like some tea? All in all, an average Dalek story. Will Rusty appear again?
Yeah.
Will Rust destroy the Daleks? Spoilers. Linda and Terry.
Lovely one. Great feedback. Okay.
Hello, 20 Megabyte Podcast. This is Ian Kirk.
Hello, Ian.
Into the Dalek by Phil Ford and Stephen Moffat. She cares, so I don't have to. In this story, we meet soldiers called Blue and Pink. Instead of blue for a boy, they are the opposite. The soldiers are willing to kill the Doctor, but want to save the Dalek. Are they hoping the Dalek will help them? The Dalek saw beauty, and the locked-away memory just has to be revived to solve the crisis. Missy is still welcoming the selected dead to her paradise. I don't think we ever find out why. The Giggle by Russell T Davies. There is a mental disturbance on Earth caused by everyone being sure they are right. I'm sure this is a meta-reference to Davies thinking his detractors are imbalanced and he is always right. Donna is pushing a stunt wolf. The 11th Doctor was a toy maker in his last episode. The first appearance of the toy maker came before Q in Star Trek Next Generation.
It did.
And is a similar concept, a trickster god.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to see Trinity Wells, the newsreader, back.
Yes, I forgot
even
about
if she
that.
has gone conspiracy theorist. The toy maker kills the Doctor with a big gun.
I'm not dead! He says he's not dead.
A lot of fans seem confused by the bi-generation. To me, it is just another meeting of two Doctors, with added Siamese Time Lord special effects.
Yes.
Yep.
It might come in handy to have a spare Doctor, in case the diversity agenda is not popular internationally.
True.
The 14th Doctor can take over the Sarah Jane role of defending the Earth. The Master is trapped inside a canine. There was a jukebox in the second RTD story. There is one here, as RTD's homage to himself. Bye for now.
Yes, thank you, Ian. But don't forget, not only have we had a bi-generation, we've got two TARDISes. So I suppose if the Doctor's TARDIS does disappear or get destroyed, he could always borrow Tennant's one, couldn't he?
Well, the implication at the end of the last one as well that, he's already taken Rose to Mars and he took Mel back to New York for the Golden Age.
Yeah.
Like, he's not resting on his laurels.
Nice. I suppose he wouldn't do, would he?
Also, since the episode was broadcast, and even it was a week ago that I recorded with their station Who, RTD has come out and said that there are no plans to have Tennant at the moment in anything.
At the moment.
So,
Right, yeah.
people should not worry about that at the moment.
Stephen, yeah.
I'm adding the at the moment thing. He never said at the moment.
Yeah. What we haven't spoken about, though, is the little sneaky peek, which there's obviously a trailer going around of, you know...
a lot of people hate that. I loved it.
I don't think... I'm feeling from that the Christmas special isn't going to be particularly good, but it's a tradition for Doctor Who Christmas specials not to be particularly good, but I'm still looking forward to it, and I can't wait to finally get a full Ncuti Gatwa episode of Doctor Who. We've waited so long you wouldn't believe it. And I noticed I said to Deb that, you know, the companion, I can't remember her blooming name now.
Ruby.
Anyway.
Ruby Tuesday.
Ruby Tuesday, yeah. The actress who plays... Whatever, the actress who plays is that I love the fact that the portrayal of this character is so miles away from the character she played in Coronation Street. I know she's an actress, but it's just nice that seems to have happened. She seems like a really grounded, confident sort of character. So looking forward to it. It does look rather fab. And yeah.
Just hoping she doesn't turn into a new Rose.
I would like to thank Disney Plus for having an interest in our
program.
The
rumors. She's not going to be
good.
You trying to put spoilers in?
She's not going to be
because they're just rumors. I'm not even going to tell you what the rumors are, but there are some interesting rumors out there.
I like it. Rumors.
That's right. So rumours get around when people are excited about the show.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I was kind of surprised. 10 years ago, on our recording for Into the Dalek, I had heard a rumor that Courtney Woods was actually Danny Pink's sister.
Okay. Well, we do see Danny. There is a relationship between Danny Pink and another character, isn't it? Later on in the series.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is. Anyway.
With that.
Right.
What Kirby just said was the rumour. I thought that was the actual thing.
Okay. Right, so whowon.co.uk. I have to do them this week.
Is that whowon.co.uk?
There's on the live feed.
There's nothing on the live feed.
Fair enough.
Because it's Christmas coming and people need to get their last minute Christmas presents from whowon.co.uk and of course Lavasi. And the latest products, the 60th anniversary specials. This is, I believe, a DVD. I still do DVDs.
Oh yeah, we rely on them here.
Apparently these episodes were made in 4K. I haven't seen them in 4K yet, but somebody said that it looks a bit wibbly wobbly. Some of the CGI looks a bit weird in 4K, but I think if you're clever enough with the iPlayer and you've got like a Fire Stick 4K, you can watch the episodes in 4K. Cuckoo, which is a oh God, what is that? It looks like the 12th Doctor. It says, Jay Griffiths reads the original adventure of the 12th Doctor and Clara as played by, on TV, Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman. It's like an e-book. As an audio book, beg pardon. The Romanoff Project, which is another audio book featuring the 13th Doctor. Liberation of the Daleks. It's like a comic book thingy. Featuring what looks like the 11th Doctor. Sorry, 10th or 14th. I don't know. That actually could be the 14th. Let's have a look. A New Regeneration, Familiar Fate. Yeah, it's the 14th Doctor. And Rose Illustrated, hardback. Looks like a graphic novel version of Rose. Hootopia. There's a, I suppose it's that Doctor Who says the ultimate guide to the Hooniverse. BBC book, so it's official. There's quite a few nice little Doctor Who fan type gifts in that selection I've just read out. Lavasi, of course, where you do need to sort of consider getting your Doctor Who fan loved one, especially if you've just got together and you think, oh, I've loved my Doctor Who fan other half, but they haven't got a 4th Doctor scarf. I know where I can get one from. It's Lavasi. But they also have their Christmas range. It's just slightly different from the original Christmas range, which they got the pullover. Remember to get 3 or 4 sizes above the size 2XL for me, about 3XL. So yeah, the pullover, the scarf, the bubble hat, and the other side of the scarf, featuring snowmen and angels and whatnot. Really quite cool. And of course the traditional Doctor Who cosplay items as well, which you can get if you want to do the 7th and 4th Doctors, and 5th if you want the pullover, the cricket pullover, and 7th with the sort of tank top question mark thingy. So yeah, we love Lavazzi, don't we, everybody?
We do.
For many years. Right, Doctor Who news. I'll see if there is any. So obviously, by the time we do our next episode in the new year, everybody would have digested the Christmas special, so we'll be talking about it much later than everybody else. But hey ho, is where it goes. Right, Doctor Who news. The Church on Ruby Road on BBC. On DVC and BBC Books. Doctor Who Christmas special. The Church on Ruby Road.
Christmas special on Christmas Day.
Yeah, on Christmas Day is when it should be. It's great. It's now available to pre-order on DVD and Blu-ray as a Target novelisation. The Church on Ruby Road will see the 15th Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, take control of the TARDIS and meet new companion Ruby Sunday, played by Millie Gibson. Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
But what do you all think of the new TARDIS?
I love it. Oh,
I love it.
Discuss it. It's so beautiful. It's the sort of thing.
I liked it better when Ncuti was in it and it turned golden rather than silver white.
I like the white.
Well,
the
it
white
can change to any color because of the LED lighting.
I want it to be white. I like it. I love the round bit things as well. Yeah, I love that card.
Did you see the joke picture I posted of the Third Doctor in a little go-kart on?
No.
In it?
No.
I posted it. Where did I post that?
I don't know. But as being a Lego builder myself, I'm not, I need an instruction manual mainly. But it's very much a set that you could potentially put together in Lego. And it looks so cool, that aspect of it. So maybe... come on, Lego, let's have some new Doctor Who stuff. Right, Wild Blue Yonder, 7-day rating. 7.14 million viewers. That's bloody good, according to the research board BARB. The official rating includes those who recorded the programme and watched it within a week. The rating made the episode 9th most watched programme of British television for the week. The top-rated show was Saturday broadcast. I'll start that line again. The top-rated show was Saturday broadcast of Strictly Come Dancing. However, unlike last week, Doctor Who had more viewers than the Sunday results show of Strictly Come Dancing, possibly because there was no eviction this week. Oh, there you go. I'm a celebrity, occupied positions 2 to 8. That's pretty.
Are
cool,
you?
Actually.
Yes,
you're a celebrity.
The final episode, the Giggle had an overnight rating of 4.62 million, so we haven't actually got the final figures on that. Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson light up the London Eye. They pressed a button and lit it up, potentially for Crimbo. Goblins, top iTunes, the Goblins song written by Mary Gold and Russell T Davies has rocketed to the top of the UK iTunes charts on the day of release. The single is taken from the soundtrack of the 2023 Christmas special, The Church on Ruby Road, due to be broadcast on BBC One for Christmas Day, as well as being available worldwide on Disney+. Cool. Apparently,
what time? Do we know the time it's going to be broadcast?
No. Well, it's probably in the TV book, which I haven't looked at yet. And of course, I said about Lavazzi's new Christmas stuff. Lavazzi has released new Christmas Doctor Who festive designs featuring weeping angels and great intelligence and stuff. And then the reviews of Giggle. Let's see what we got here, if I can read it out quickly. Evening Standard, social media satire, a killing spree to the Spice Girls, and a Doctor literally coming apart at the seams. This was genuinely brilliant and thrillingly unpredictable TV.
Yes.
What else we got here? It has been a long time since Doctor Who has felt so exciting. This funny, rich, this camp, this smart, this scary, and well sublime. Ncuti Gatwa, charismatic new Doctor who made his debut tonight, suggests the future is bright for the sci-fi series. Collider. The Giggle is Davies at his best. This episode is both terrifying and
Don't tell
hilarious.
Mary that.
Sorry?
Don't tell Mary that.
It's heart-pounding and emotional to watch the Doctor face his oldest adversary. It's not quite his oldest adversary, but never mind. While he fights to protect the people of Earth that he can't help but love despite never being able to say the words. A Telegraph. This was always going to be a moving finale. It's marvellous to have Tennant back, and we may see him again, but as seen in that prolonged glimpse of Gatwa's new Doctor, the more exciting times really do seem to be afoot. Roll on Christmas Day! The Guardian. Mm-hmm. It was no surprise, though, that Neil Patrick Harris, that's that bloke that was in the Smurf films, by the way, was a scene-stealing romp, revelling in silly accents, close-up card magic, and imaginative cruelty. A Den of Geek. The bursts of fury, the moments of melancholy, the hugging, the brainy specks. Shut up. If this really is the last time Tennant ever dons the skinny suit, these three specials might be the most triumphant final appearance of any Doctor to date. And Games Radar says about Catherine Tate, Donna has also aged, but she's only grown warmer and wiser and more determined. A scene where she faces off against the toy maker's traps is laugh out loud funny. She unflappably deals with the monster in a wonderfully straightforward way. So there you go. There's lots of stuff on here. Yeah. Oh, I'll see what they mean about the way that the toy maker looks in that little sort of preview. That way he stands waving his hand in a sinister fashion.
You could always tell it was him.
Yes. Anyway.
I don't understand.
You don't understand? Oh.
Why people thought that wasn't him.
Deb, when the show ends, can you just get on to Kirby and help him to understand? Stuff coming through on the live feed. We got Ian Kirk says 7 p.m. Doctor Who Christmas Day. There you go.
Huzzah!
Lily and Robin, I'm watching on the live feed. I am nothing. Eh? What does that mean? I'm watching on the live feed. I am nothing? I don't understand.
You are not nothing.
It's confusing me. I'm sure there was something else I was going to say. Nope, it's gone. So that's it then. We come to the point in which the next thing is Christmas and New Year, for which, of course, falls on, both is Christmas Eve and then New Year's Eve. So it's not conducive to doing Doctor Who podcasts, I'm afraid. So we can't really return until the first Sunday of 2024. Where we will be talking about the Christmas special and reviewing the next Doctor Who story, Robots of Sherwood.
The Robot of Sherwood.
Oh, be quiet, Kirby.
It was originally titled Robots of Sherwood.
Don't give a tinker's cuss. Sherwood, that Sherwood thing of the robots. I'm not good with titles and names and stuff. I'm going to call it Robots of Sherwood. Right, Robots of Sherwood. Who's in charge, Kirby?
You are.
Yes, well, shut up then.
Master.
Hope everybody has a lovely festive season, enjoys the Christmas special, and hope it's not too long before we get the first
I
full
just flipped
series.
over to the live feed. There's more comments.
Well, a bit blimmin' late. There are some more comments. Right, okay. I've done that one. Lily and Robin, you said there's nothing on the live feed. No, what I meant on the live, there's no comments. There are now. Oh my God. Ian Kirk, no, 5:55. Show sorry, 7 p.m. is Unleashed. Okay, well, thanks for that. We'll have to edit that bit out now. Right, okay, let's make this quite clear about the Doctor Who Christmas special. It's at 5:55 on Christmas Day. The Doctor Who Unleashed programme is at 7 p.m.
5:55 in the morning?
Is 7 p.m. in the morning?
It's 17:55, I assume.
Yes, 5:55. Stupid thing to look up and say, as Deb would say. Right then. Terry Miles says...
12:55 for me.
Whatever. Terry Miles says, Linda and I send everybody season's greetings. See you in the new year. Well, right back at you. So until then, thanks for supporting, continuing to listen to the show over 2023. only got 2024 and 2025 to go before I'll be 60 by then. I can hang up my microphone.
Sure.
Bye.
Goodbye, fancy fans.
Yeah, Crow.
The 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production, sponsored by whowon.co.uk and lavazi.co.uk. We are proud members of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended. The music on this podcast is covered by limited online music license from PRS for Music.